Welcome, race fans, to the Speed Racing Network HairClub Truck Series Playoffs. Round 1 here from Chicagoland. My name is Emerson Arndt. I have Jonathan Byer alongside, and we're here to bring you the playoff racing action here from Chicagoland Speedway this evening. 120 laps on the docket. JB, it's time to get down trackside and go through our starting lineup for this evening. And so there it is, David Flanagan on the pole for tonight's race with a 30.11. Drake Carty, last week's winner at Kentucky, he'll get, or 2 weeks ago, I guess, the winner at Kentucky gets the second position starting spot here. Jeffrey Vickery will start third. Dylan Godinez then P4. Lane Doyle P5. Andrew Harris P6. Kyle Johnson and Sean Corcoran make up row number 4, and Jeffrey Radke, Ben Park the top 10.
Kyle Speed, Joe Ruggles will make up row 6. Connor Cunningham, Jason Green 13th and 14th. Austin DeLong 15th. Dan Park 16th. Scott Kalal 17th. Sean Woodside 18th. Wally Babb, Sean Merriman round out the top 20.
Working our way down the starting lineup, Chris Luttrell, Daytona race winner. He's going to start in a little bit of a hole tonight. He starts P21. Shane Ledoux will start P22. Zachary Tallman, Dalton McKinney make up row 12. Spencer Brown, Trevor Arzwanoff starts 25th and 26th respectively. And James Shane will clock in last second, P27, for driver of the number 14 tonight, JB. The 27 Speed Racing Network HairClub Truck Series vehicles are rolling on their way around the 1.5 mile Chicagoland Speedway, the only track here on the, or I guess the only 1.5 mile track with a curved back straightaway. That is going to be a fun factor to tonight, the entry to turn 1 and turn 3. Although normally different at most tracks in terms of just speed entering each corner. Also, the steering angle, you're going to put a little bit more wheel into it when you get into turn 3.
Yeah, this is a track I've always loved. It's got so many unique little features between the bumps in 3 and 4 and the curved back straightaway. Your ability to find speed different ways. Emerson, we can't ask for a better track for our playoff opener. And I can't believe we're already at playoff time. You know, we've been talking about points and this and that every week, and here we are. It's time for the 7-race playoffs. And for those wondering, well, who's in the playoffs? If you look at the trucks and you look at the windshield banners, the spoilers, the splitters, if they appear that HairClub maroon color, those are going to be your playoff drivers. And then along the bottom of your screen, you'll see the points as they lay right now after the points reset. And then tonight we'll be adding that 16th and final playoff driver.
Yep, the playoff standings coming into today's race. The cut line battle is there on your screen. The battle on the racetrack is on your screen as well. Green flag is in the air. Racing commences from the Chicagoland Speedway. And truck around, one of our playoff drivers, Drake Carty, in trouble. Also, Jeffrey Radke and Kyle Johnson, many playoff drivers in trouble early on lap 1.
Ooh, that started right behind the leader there. And unfortunately, Carty got the worst of that whole situation. Actually ended up having to tow. Man.
Let's take a look and see what happened here with the replay. Again, Drake Carty to the outside there. And this is the restart, or I mean the initial start going into turn 1. Gets a little bit of help from the 51 of Jeffrey Vickery, and massive contact into that outside wall. The 59's playoff aspirations quickly taking a hit early here at Chicagoland.
Yeah, Carty, the only driver showing with damage that's required, has a required repairs flag on it, so that's why he had to tow. But yeah, it looks like Vickery just got into him a little bit, and once that truck gets sideways, there's not much you can really do. Overcorrects it, just unfortunately crushes the outside wall. Also significant damage with other trucks I'm seeing throughout the field. Significant damage to the 87 of Andrew Harris. The right front of that truck's got a fair amount of damage to it. There's also some drivers coming down pit road right now as well that did not receive damage, but this could be an early fuel strategy play, Emerson. I was talking to some of the drivers pre-race, and they were talking about being able to go 42 to 44 laps. So this early caution, while it seems like just kind of an inconvenience to start this race, kind of changes things a little bit.
You see a little bit of that damage. So Andrew Harris, a little bit of nose end damage. And Kyle Johnson and Jeffrey Radke gets here. For most of these guys, it's just kind of a slide and a little bit of,
Yeah.
you know, cosmetic damage. Nobody really, later on in this incident, really has any race affecting damage, I would imagine, because it was all still very, very early. We didn't even actually make it up to, you know, high gear, really. You know, they're still getting up to speed. But Drake Carty is
that's
one.
all you can ask for when you have a wreck at the beginning of the race. With the whole field bunched up and the wreck starts in the beginning of the field. Could have been a whole heck of a lot worse, but unfortunately for Drake Carty, that's going to be probably a terminal, if not at least a majority of the race incident for him. That's going to keep him in the pits. But everybody else looks like they've gotten on and off pit road pretty good. Harris came on and off, and looks like he's got a pretty decent amount of that fixed. It's never going to be perfect again, but he'll still somewhat be able to be competitive in that 87. The truck actually, looking at Harris's truck over again, actually, it looks pretty good. So actually, I think he's going to be okay. Better than I thought it would after how we saw it before he came down the pit lane there.
Not a whole lot of damage on anyone else's truck there, but Drake Carty, the one we're looking at here on the pit lane, just huge front end damage.
Yeah.
I imagine he's going to stick it out, get most of that damage repaired, and click the laps off that he can, because it is the playoffs and every point does matter.
Yep. And then we talk about the points reset on the bottom. So based on where the driver finished in the point standings for the playoffs, they receive a certain amount of bonus points that help them in the first round. And that comes in handy in situations like this. Carty was second, so he got 15 points, 15 bonus points to start this round. So it gives him a touch of cushion just in the event that something like this would happen. So you always try to find the silver lining when possible. But he's definitely going to need a little bit more than that tonight.
Well, here we go. We'll try it again. The iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety in the pit lane. Green flag back in the air. David Flanagan leads us back to green. One lap removed, a little bit of a moment there off of turn 4 where these drivers are all kind of racing, trying to figure out where the grip levels are. We are at nighttime here on one of the oldest surfaces.
Oh, we got a truck in the wall and one that's spinning to the inside off of turn 2.
Wally Babb in trouble on the back straightaway. Sean Woodside.
He's the truck. I think Babb's the truck I saw get the wall. Woodside's the one I saw spin across the field. Yeah, Wally Babb heavy right side damage.
And let's see what happened then to Sean Woodside. Going off a turn number 2. Contacted there by James Shane Wolf, and Woodside nearly goes up high. A little lift off the ground.
That all starts because Wally Babb gets really hard in the outside wall off of 2, and Sean Woodside, being the next truck in line, he tries to avoid it, comes down a little bit, and the 14 truck's just there.
You see right there, right in front of Wally Babb. We'll probably have to go back and look at it. Joe Ruggles also got very loose right in front of the 99 as well.
Yeah, both trucks there got loose in like that same spot, and it's just. The best way to explain it, there's some bumps right there, Emerson, in the corner. And, on low air pressures, the truck just gets really upset.
I mean, yeah,
you gotta be real careful on throttle. And you see both trucks kind of have a similar motion. Ruggles does a good job holding on to his, but unfortunately for Babb, he snap hooks the outside wall.
Yeah, that is suspension damage. That's going to be quite a little bit in the pit lane for the 99 of Wally Babb.
And he's one of the drivers, Emerson, eligible for our last chance qualifier. We talked about adding a 16th and final driver to the playoffs this evening. So the 15 across the bottom of your screen, they're already in the playoffs. The top driver that's not currently down there that has completed at least 12 races this season will become the 16th and final driver. So Wally Babb was one of those on that list. Unfortunately for him tonight, he's going to need a little bit more help to have a chance at that. Currently, that driver in that position would be Jason Green, who's sitting in 5th in that number 55 truck. He would be the top.
And Wally Babb has just packed it up, so. Yeah.
Can't say I blame him, to be honest. That's when you take a lick like that, I can imagine that steering wheel is not going to be straight. Got a couple more drivers coming down pit road here, Emerson. I talked on the last caution a little bit about fuel mileage, and how it kind of divides up weirdly. And these guys were already near the back, so maybe a chance for them to plug those trucks full a little bit. A little bit of damage there on Dylan Godinez's truck, so he might be coming down for a little bit of repair.
Working our second caution of the evening tonight here from the Chicagoland Speedway. It is lap 9 of 120. David Flanagan getting a nice start to his playoffs with the Darlington win getting him in. The early laps led here, showing he's going to be a little bit more than just a one and done here in these playoffs. He wants to really be a force to be reckoned with here in these playoffs and go far, have a chance at that championship. And, you know, a way to do it right would be, you know, showing this dominance early and establishing you're gonna be there.
And we talk about Emerson. They're like, you probably wonder playoffs. What's on the line? Well, here's what's on the line: $500 go to the champion. So a lot of money here at stake. So these guys are racing for a good chunk of change. It means something to them. And so, you know, this is just the first of 7 of those races, though, and yeah, how many years, Emerson, have we seen? You have to execute all 7 at a really good level to have a chance at that cash.
Yeah, absolutely. Every race matters. Every point matters. And you'll see, I believe, even Cardi is going to try to go for it. Every lap will matter. So, green flag back in the air. Let's try it again. Racing resumes from Chicagoland. David Flanagan doing his thing out in front, and it is Ben Park rising to the occasion. Ben Park coming into today's race as a playoff driver, but below that cut line, and so Ben looking to make an early playoff statement, showing why he's a previous champion of the series.
And just like the regular season, Emerson, we got a 3 wide for the lead here. Ben trying to get that bottom to work real nice. He's doing a real good job with it. But Spees is going to be the one that kind of wins this battle with the momentum up top. Quick clear in front of the 5.
Yeah, around the outside, new leader 36, Kyle Spees. Now, he didn't get that banner updated, but Spees is in the playoffs. Jason Green, as you mentioned, JB, that highest running driver that can lock in by being the highest finisher tonight. And pretty astonishing that Jason Green did not make the playoffs, being that he was a multi-time winner last season. Winless to this point here in season 7, and I mean, he was 13th in the regular season standings. I mean, you know, playoff eligible if it was just points, but just didn't have enough points to make it in. So he'll have to try to lucky dog his way in.
And we just talked about, you know, Kyle Spees taking the lead. I don't know how this has happened this season, but we haven't been able to say that much. And Kyle Spees is a guy who usually comes out here and wins quite a few races. Luck has just not been on his side this year at all. But so far tonight, he's off to a pretty strong show. And what I was saying before he took the lead there, just like the regular season, if you win any of these playoff races within the certain rounds, it does advance you to the next round automatically. So Spees is thinking here, hey, with a win, we got a wreck in turn 2, Emerson.
Gosh, and on the speedway, and looks like Daniel Park, Scott Kalaw in trouble, Shane Ledoux. The driver that's lining up the timing screen there, and there he is, the 12 of Shane Ledoux. The truck stopped here for our 3rd caution of the day. And let's try to...
I saw that start around the 48 of Kyle Johnson. That's the first truck I saw. It looks like Sean Corcoran was actually the first one around, and he took quite a hit there.
Sean Corcoran is one of our playoff drivers as well. We're gonna try to deduce what happened with this incident. Lots of moving parts here, but Jeffrey Radke there in the 3 machine, the 74 Sean Corcoran, the 48 of Kyle Johnson, and the 22 gets into the rear end of the 74.
Yeah.
They make contact, and talk about 5-6 trucks involved. Not really any heavy damage, but still, I mean, you don't want any knock to your aerodynamics at a high speed mile and a half oval like so. But Austin DeLong, the driver, just, I mean, for just running over the 74.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any other way you can look at that, honestly, Emerson. I mean, in the middle of a corner like that, you're kind of expecting that driver behind you to give you a break. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know.
Is there something that happened? Did he get loose? Or was Austin just taking a completely different approach to the corner?
I would have to think that something happened to the 74 and caused just a abrupt loss of speed there. I mean, you see the fire coming out of the tailpipes in corner entry to 74. He's definitely off the gas, but not enough to just get run in the back of. So I don't know.
Airtime there as well. And am I seeing this? Did you just see Joe Ruggles sneak through there?
Oh, I did, Emerson. You can't miss that bright red truck. Come on now, it's Joe Ruggles.
Oh, Clifford made it through this one. Wow. Take a little replay and see Joe Ruggles. He fast approaches this wreck and he makes it through it in one piece.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, we saw that a vast majority of the ARCA racing field couldn't do that this past weekend. But Joe Ruggles shows that he's got a little bit more talent than they do behind the wheel and makes it on through.
Even a little sideways on corner entry, sees the wreck, slows it down, swings it right to the middle. How about that?
That's veteran. That's veteran right there. I mean, Joe's been around a while.
Oh, he is a veteran of the series.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
He gets it. So he's like, you know what? If I'm not in a hurry to get to this, I'll live to fight a couple more laps. And so that's the right approach to it. I wish more drivers would think that way, but that was an impressive onboard shot we just got from that 96 truck.
You know, it's not every day we say that here, but hats off Joe Ruggles, man. That was a good one.
Yeah, as much as we love to see those, you know, we probably need to get some green flag racing in us here.
Yes.
I do believe that Kyle Spees is kind of taking control of this race, though, because, I mean, he went right by that 17-5 truck with ease, and right before that caution, legged out a pretty decent lead there. So if he can get a good restart here, I think he's just going to go back to doing that. And when you get Spees in a position like that, he's a hard one to beat.
And absolutely, I mean, and Kyle Spees is so conscious about, you know, tire conservation. When we get to long runs, that the fact that he decided it was the right time to use that equipment, go for that lead at this point of the race, still very early in the race, shows that he has a lot of confidence, you know, to control this field and to really take, you know, the strategy aspect of this race by storm, because Kyle Spees normally won't go at it that early. He'll kind of lay in the shadows and attack later, but only 17 laps in, he takes the lead in a very strong move, and he takes the green as we start lap 18 of 120 here at Chicago. Lap 19 of 120. Ben Park going for the race lead on the 36. Side by side out of turn 2. That's silver and red, number 17 machine, trying to make that bottom side work, but the outside, with a truck running up there that's not, you know, overusing their stuff, they can really force that inside truck to use a lot more to get around them, because it is so easy. Not easy, but it's more... you're more able to defend on that high side You see with Kyle Speed, he just goes up another lane because of the progressive banking. You can carry more speed up by the wall. Where yes, if you're Ben, you're taking a shorter way around, but you're having to wait to get onto the gas a little later because the corner just opens up later with the track being a little flatter.
Yeah, and I talked to the Park Brothers team before this race started, and they were all pretty adamant about committing to the bottom. So I'm not surprised to see Ben do this, and it's challenging to pass. That's why he's not gotten by the 36 yet, but it does use a little less tire. So I don't think he minds hanging out right here. I think he does mind the 48 being right on his back bumper like that. Now he's going to put him middle of 3 wide.
Yeah, 3 wide, 3 series vets going at it. And Ben is going to back out, make it a 2-horse race. Kyle Johnson in the 48 rising to the occasion. Kyle Speed's big run out of 4 keeps the lead. But you're right, JB. When you run that inside lane, you woe the truck down. You don't put as much pressure on that right front tire. You don't, really eat at that grip up there. While you're on the high side, one, you're taking the longer way around the racetrack, so you're just putting more distance, more miles on your tires. You're also leaning on that right front more as you go up the hill.
Yeah, and that over time makes a big difference. And one thing when we saw Ben go in the middle 3 wide and backing out of it was very smart, because in practice we were watching trucks kind of race around each other, and these trucks, when they got like middle of 3 wide on corner entry like that, broke loose a lot of the time. So just a good smart veteran move by Ben there to back out of that, live to fight another day. And here comes his teammate Jason Green in the 55. He's got something to say for this top group here.
Jason Green sure does. He's in a sea of playoff drivers up here. I mean, absolutely surrounded. 5 playoff guys and Jason Green. Now, Green, again, very much playoff caliber. And
Yes.
would make that, should he finish in this position he currently is in. But Green is racing for his season tonight, as opposed to...
The only reason he has to do that, Emerson, is because he missed last week, and that wasn't anything.
That's true.
All that's just the way the schedule worked out. And so, with that being a non-droppable race, he was in,
right.
and then he turns around and he's out. So now he's got to turn around here and battle back. But a track at which Jason is very, very fast. And so, barring any unfortunate circumstances, I think we're going to be talking about him being the front runner for that final playoff spot.
Because then the conversation will shift. By the way, we just had the leader switch lanes. Kyle Johnson now to that high side. That puts Kyle Spees in some territory that he hasn't been in yet today. He's down on the inside. Kyle Johnson gets around Kyle Spees for the race lead. And now Ben Park jumps up there to the outside of the 36. And sideways is the 14 of Shane Wolf as he tries to dive to the inside of Kyle Spees, that is, and he'll sit behind the 36. Ben Park trying to hold station on the high side, and Green will file in line down low. Everyone now works back up behind Shane Wolf, trying to use all the racetrack up there. And now right back down to the bottom. James, Shane Wolf wasting no time going forward.
Man, this is some racing right here, Emerson. You got all kinds of stuff going on here. Shane Wolf, a lot of computer trouble this week, Emerson. Wasn't sure if he was going to even make it to the race. Found an option to run. Didn't get any practice laps in from what I saw. Joined in real late and started in the very back. And he's on a mission to get up here.
I was just about to say, so no practice, uncertainty about making the show, starting dead
in the
last.
Computer wheel situation you're in right now because he's
on his normal
found
setup.
An option.
Yeah.
So.
And here he is competing right up front like he normally would. And here goes Kyle Spees on Kyle Johnson to Kyle, and Kyle show up front. And we had a truck get into the wall there. That might have been Shane Wolf. But the 48 and 36 having an absolute dogfight out in front of this field. Sideways, the 17 of Ben Park. What a catch.
What a catch by Ben. That truck, we could read the door numbers looking down the straightaway on that one. And this battle for the lead is just not going to stop. I mean, you're talking about some veteran drivers here just giving it all it's worth. And
also, it is the talent is stacked up. David Flanagan just scraped the wall and lost 4 spots.
We got this jumble of trucks back here. I mean, the battle for the lead's still strong, but we got this battle between Radke Green and Shane Wolf has been 3 wide for about 3 laps now. Now Lane Doyle wants a piece of the action. First time we talked about him tonight, but it's a race, so Lane Doyle's going to get talked about at some point because he just always finds his way on up there, and here he comes in that 47 truck.
Yeah,
and then Andrew Harris.
The occasion.
I know.
By the way, the playoffs is the right time. The cream rising to the top. All of these drivers we talked about really at various points throughout the season, but not really have we all talked about them under a blanket like so. They've all kind of had their own shining moments, and now it's playoff time. Now everyone's here. Everyone's ready to play and compete for a championship across these next 7 races. And so here's Jason Green under attack from Jeffrey Radke. Radke also previous champion of the series, and Radke clears to P5. And now Flanagan and Green go at it, 5 and 55 and P6.
It's no shocker, Emerson, that this is what we're seeing, because the wick always turns up at the playoffs, because that's when that $500 prize becomes more of a realization. And these guys are going to go out there and get it. They're going to practice a little bit more. And this is going to help the racecraft. But also, we've selected 7 tracks for the playoffs that are historically 7 of the best races that SRN sees on a yearly basis. That wasn't by chance. That was planned that way. And I think that's why we're seeing what's going on right now. You're giving the guys a track that everybody's familiar with, a track that's raceable. And so far, just a field that's able to get it done.
And it sounds weird when you say it, but I know exactly what you mean. A track that's raceable. The racetracks, aren't they all raceable? Well, no. This track in particular, with the progressive banking, promotes side-by-side racing more than other tracks do. Just
in side-by-side racing that can be clean. In 3-wide racing that can be clean. There's plenty of room. Yeah.
And so right now,
we've seen, Emerson, I just wanted to comment, as this run has gone on, this green flag run here, look how it's just everything's migrated up.
Yep.
You know, kind of like what we would see at a Kansas. As the tires wear, there's just speed is up there by the wall, and now you're seeing kind of everybody driving it up there. You're still seeing a couple guys try to pick the bottom. That's going to mainly be like a passing type scenario, but these guys are going to get up and close and personal with the wall. And that's a skill set in and of itself, Emerson. I was not somebody who could cozy on up to it and run it like somebody like Kyle Larson can do.
Yeah.
That won't reach out and grab you. It's sticky at times, and so you got to be really careful and diligent. But these top 10 here are just all stacked right together.
And that's exactly the comment I was going to make about how the line just migrated. We saw this pack fan out across the entire racetrack, all 4 or 5 lanes worth of racing surface. And now we're getting to the far end of the tire run. We're on lap 35 of 120. These tires have aged a bit. This is one of the older track surfaces on the NASCAR calendar, and it's a really abrasive surface. The tires are lacking grip now, so everyone's migrated to the top so they can lean on that banking a little bit and try to hold on to what little grip they have left. And now, so it's very similar now to kind of a line you would see at a plate track, which you might see next week as well with Atlanta coming up. But you're right, to get up there, right, with these trucks now. The next-gen car would be different. The next-gen car is a very balanced car. We can run up against the wall and lean a little bit more on that right side. The trucks, they're still running the older chassis style. You can still have these trucks yawed out a little bit to the right. And so if that rear end, that right rear catches the wall, you're sucked right into the wall. So you have to really play and figure out where that air bubble is, where you're going to lean that right side of your truck before you cross over that invisible cushion and catch some safer barrier.
Yeah, and in the virtual world, nothing's exact either. So you can think you're close to that wall, and iRacing kind of decide you're in it. And then, you can get stuck to it and have to slow way down to pull off of it. So, yeah, you bring up a bunch of good points there, and that's just all the variables, Emerson, is what creates, in my opinion, a good race. And, yeah, we started off with some yellows there, a little bit of probably urgency. But we've settled into a really nice, just raceable event here now, and it'd be interesting to see now as this stretches out what the strategy becomes, right? Because there's a lot of tire fall off, we know that. So you're gonna want to probably be one of the first ones on pit road to gain some time. But how do you do that with also breaking it up in the kind of what you would consider an equal-ish fuel run, and then the inevitable flag there that's yellow in color could come out, and then we're talking a whole different ballgame. So you got to set yourself up with options.
Whoa. Sideways entering turn 1. I think he made contact with the 47 of Lane Doyle. All is well. Now Flanagan has to file his way back in line, but you're right, JB. And when it comes to strategy here at a track that, again, is so abrasive, yes, fuel strategy is going to have a say in the strategy, but your tires are going to be screaming in that conversation. Pit, we need new rubber now, because you're going to be hanging on for your life in about 10 laps here. The 40 laps on a run is already very long on a set of tires, especially now that they're already in that high side. I mean, we get to 50, 55 laps, we're getting some, you know, uncharted waters on some tire wear. So yes, fuel will have a say, especially we now just hit the 1/3 mark of the race. Are you going to make it a 2-stop race and pit at 40 and 80? Well, that door is wide open. The other thing to note is we had drivers make pit stops. Now, albeit for splashes of fuel on the second lap of the race, how much is that going to really affect strategy? I don't know. But James Shane Wolf, Jeffrey Radke, 2 of those drivers inside the top 5. Andrew Harris, Daniel Park, 2 drivers at the back end of the top 10, have some options. Also, the drivers sat in 11th right now. Dalton McKinney, granted, he's not a playoff driver right now. He's competing for that playoff lucky dog, JB. He pitted on lap 15. Now, he really might have some options.
Yeah. Oh, Radke. I don't know if he's trying to pit or spun down the pit lane or whatever is happening there. He hit the inside wall. He's going to get it gathered back up. He might as well just come on down here and pit.
Season 6 champion Jeffrey Radke in trouble. And you know what? This is one of the trickier mile-and-a-half pit lanes to get to, JB. That pit entry is all the way after the corner has ended.
And that was intentional. He was trying to come to pit road right there, Emerson.
Wow.
So you're right. That just shows you...
out of her lead.
Just shows you how treacherous it is here. Yeah.
Kyle Johnson, Kyle Spees. The Kyle and Kyle show won't go away.
Luckily, no penalty there for the 3 truck, so, you know, he didn't speed, and so I think he's going to be okay. Obviously going to give up a little time there, but it could have been much worse for sure for that 3 truck.
How about this? Kyle Johnson clears up in front of the 36. Kyle Speed says, thank you, I'll take that. Drops down low, hammers the throttle, and clears back up in front of the 48.
Just a note that I've noticed here, looking at some data, fastest lap for the race is a 30.306. Last time by, the leader ran a 31.932.
Oh, wow.
That gives you an idea of the fall off. Yeah, so we were talking about tires and the importance of them and how much you're going to want them and how much you can gain. Never mind, we got a yellow.
Yellow on the speedway. Lane Doyle, one of our playoff drivers, in trouble. Jason Green, playoff lucky draw front runner, in trouble. Wow.
Andrew Harris got a piece of that as well.
Andrew Harris, yep, one of the playoff drivers.
Man, we were on such a clip right there. I'm interested to see what actually happened.
And by the way, Jeffrey Vickery on pit lane will take full service and see where he comes out. But Jason Green and Lane Doyle, the biggest names, in trouble. Let's see what happened. And I think it's just hard racing towards the end of a tire run here, JB. Here's the replay we got. Green clears up in front of Doyle, nearly gets the wall, and I think maybe Green comes up off the wall, and Flanagan and Harris both collect the 47.
Is that a product, Emerson, you think of the curved back stretch? I mean, usually you don't see a driver come off the wall there, but you do have to kind of arc it in there in a way.
I'd almost say the curved backstretch should have almost helped to avoid that incident, just because you would have been able to open up the wheel a little bit more. But you see right there, Green goes up the track, but as he closes up on the wall, he turns back up off the wall, makes contact there with the 47 of Lane Doyle, and then Doyle, trying to get out of the 45's way, turns back up the track, body slams the 5 machine into the wall, and Andrew Harris, nowhere to go, nearly goes monster trucking through there.
Yeah, I'm hearing the 5 and the 87, considerable damage. They're going to have to spend some time on the pit lane. Required repairs for sure.
Required repairs.
Yeah, and I think that where you see that on the 87 is when he got up in the air a little bit and jumped. I think there's going to be some suspension damage on that truck. And then the 5 just got absolutely bodied, so I think there's enough said there why that's going to be required repairs. But man, we just saw some fantastic racing there, Emerson, for about I don't know, would you say 20, 25 laps there?
Absolutely.
And you know, at the end of the run, these trucks aren't handling good anyway. So who does this help? Well, the 3 truck already came down pit road, so he's gonna cycle around here.
Well, but you
Not
know
a
what,
lot of
JB?
green
He
flag laps.
spun, so this actually.
Oh yeah, he's not gonna lose as much time here.
But he's lapped, so I mean, I guess he gets the opportunity to unlap himself. That's really
Yeah,
it,
he should
though.
get the wave. Yeah, he'll get the wave around here, so he'll rejoin the lead lap and just one or 2 laps on those tires, so he'll be okay.
Victory was
Harris has
also on pit
completed
lane.
his required repairs and rejoined the track. 5 of Flanagan is still on the pit lane, FYI.
Yeah, that one's gonna hurt. David Flanagan with required repairs. Oh boy, one of the playoff drivers, and he did so well so early. JB qualifying on pole, leading those laps.
Yeah.
And, now here comes all of our wave around trucks. Lots of wave arounds right now because we were in the pit cycle.
Yeah, during the caution, and you want to be one of those drivers that pulls down pit lane right when the caution comes out. Everybody has to slow down. You're usually able to keep it on the lead lap, but if you pitted a little bit before that, unfortunately, you were just not as lucky.
And JB, Jeffrey Radke is still 1 lap down, so problems for one of our playoff contenders with that pit entry miscue. He's still lapped. We're now on lap 47 of 120, taking lap 48. Green flag in the air. Kyle Spees takes the green flag, and Dalton McKinney enters into the mix. Cold tires once again. Can everybody find their grip round this 1.5 mile speed palace here in Joliet, Illinois? Sideways the 17 of Ben Park. McKinney and Kyle Johnson clear through. Johnson now looking on the 46.
Kenny, a driver, Emerson, we're used to talking to about some victory lane interviews. Not been his case this year. Just unfortunate luck.
Winless streak.
Yeah, he's running up front. He always shows up when he needs to. So he's got a shot at that playoff lucky dog or that last chance qualifier.
Oh,
we got the 90
in the
truck in the wall. 90 in the 45. No caution, Emerson. And now the caution's out.
Now truck stopped. Sean Woodside in trouble. Zachary Tallman. And that 45, that truck was not moving.
Yeah.
Go back and see what happened. We saw the names dropping down to running order. Really the biggest indication that there was an incident when you look at the timing screen and names start dropping right down to running order. Here we go, Sean Woodside and Zachary Tallman.
I just gotta look at it real quick.
4 wide.
Go ahead.
Joe Ruggles contacts the 45 and
it's called 4 wide entering turn 1. That typically doesn't work. Talladega might be the exception.
I gotta give it to those guys though. Of everyone to go 4 wide, it wasn't gonna be this group that I would have thought of to go 4 wide first, but they were going for it. Unfortunately, it didn't work out.
Yeah, the unfortunate reality is none of them were gonna give an inch. But yeah, that's
wow.
You know, yeah, that's gonna be a rough one for those guys. 45 truck hit quite hard there of Sean Woodside, and Zach Tallman, just an innocent bystander there.
And so I don't believe so he did. Driver of the 3, Jeffrey Radke gets the lucky dog, JB. Now that is huge.
That's what he wants.
That's what he needs.
Right there, yeah. some of those other drivers with previous damage as well. Just gives them an opportunity to get a little bit more repairs done.
And so while
And every point matters.
Every point does matter. While all that happens, we're going to take a quick step aside and hear a quick message from our partners here at Speed Racing Network.
What I'm about to do is something you never want to do, ever, period. But because I have top coat F11, I can. Watch this. Literally, black paint. I'm just wiping it dry. Come on, you can't beat that. You just can't beat that. That's Top Cut F11 for you.
Welcome, race fans, back to the virtual Chicagoland Speedway. The restart ensuing from our fifth caution of the night. Kyle Spees, Kyle Johnson, Dalton McKinney, Trevor Arswinoff, and Ben Park. Green flag in the air. Racing resumes from Chicagoland. Truck sideways in the back, hard into the outside wall. Scott Kalal eats safer barrier. That could end his night.
Hard hits in there.
Huge hit for the 23 of Scott Kalal. Let's see what happened. Racing the 55 of Jason Green. Jason was lucky. He was near both of these incidents. Just sideways was Kalal and is clipped by some oncoming traffic and the outside wall. Little freer than he anticipated.
Yeah, that would be a good way of putting that. Freer than anticipated. But I mean, every time you fire off with cold tires, Emerson, that's just going to be a big piece.
Back down the pit lane, the 47 of Lane Doyle. JB still getting some damage repairs. The stories we're following is that 47. You mentioned JB. David Flanagan's still in the pit lane as well. That one's a huge one. Flanagan led so much so early tonight. Lane Doyle was rising to the occasion. JB, you mentioned Lane Doyle is a name we mention pretty much every week. And he was fighting his way up into the top 10 and was really becoming a force in the race, but Lane Doyle will have to get more damage repairs here. Now, he is lucky these pace laps, they're taking a little bit. So, Lane Doyle is getting about a minute of damage repaired every caution period. Every time he hits the pit lane. So, not too shabby.
Yeah. Yeah, this race started with a bunch of starts and stops. Then we got a longer run in there. Now we're kind of back to this start and stop. And what that does is it kind of makes it to where you start working the race from the end forward and start thinking about, okay, when can I make that last pit stop?
Yep.
Or just keep topping off with fuel. I mean, 42 to 44 laps is about what they can go on fuel is what I was told. So we're not quite there yet with 64 remaining, but you begin to think about that as being, part of the equation here.
That and what you start to think about, JB, is
And Emerson, just FYI, the replay screen is still up. Saw that flash across my screen.
what you think about from this point is cautions as well at the end, impacting your fuel number. So if you can get it to 50 laps to go and you get a yellow, you might come in and chance that by topping it off, because you might get a couple cautions to help you reach your fuel number. So the field works their way off of turn number 40. iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety down in the pit lane. The field in the hands of Kyle Spees. Racing resumes from Chicagoland. Everyone fanning out across the front straightaways. Everyone fighting for their playoff lives, in or out. So be it. Correct me if I'm wrong, JB. The 89 Trevor Aswarnov would not make
Correct.
eligibility.
He's not raced enough races this year. More of a part-time driver in the series. Subs for the Rollo Tony sometimes, but he's having a good run tonight, nevertheless.
Sure is. So we've got about 20 trucks left out here. I'm sorry, 18 trucks left out here. 16 still on the lead lap. Scott Kalal is not on the pace. No, that truck is wounded. So call it 15 trucks still going strong here. Halfway through our event. And Kyle Spees, your race leader. Last time by Trevor Aswarnoff, ran his fastest lap of the night.
Starting to begin to see kind of the fanning out effect here as we settle into this run. Some comers, some goers, some on the offense, some trying to save. Just trying to find a spot to be nice and safe, honestly. This is what the plan is here. A couple drivers still on their march up towards the front. James Shane Wolf, one of those that comes to mind. We know we talked about him starting in the back, uncertain computer situation.
Parks there right in front of the 46.
Yeah, he's a guy who's just heating up here halfway through this event, so you give him a little bit more time. I think we'll see him up for a battle. And Kyle Johnson's still up here holding strong. He's been up here all night. Dylan Godinez is making a strong appearance here in the top 10. Really good run in 6. So, he is one of our playoff drivers. Yep. Don't really talk about him too much because he just comes in, finishes the races, and leaves every week pretty consistently. So, consistency does make the playoffs, though, and can pay off in the playoffs, too. And so I think you're just seeing a little bit of progress tonight of that. And Jason Green working around him there, who we saw involved on that backstretch incident, who's still fighting for that playoff lucky dog spot. And he sees that 46 truck, and he knows that's the one he's got to go get.
I was just about to say, JB, kind of rising from the dead again is Jason Green. And you're right, the 46, that cotton candy, 46, McDingers, 46, if you will.
McDingers, 46.
Yeah, he's the one right now. He's in at the moment. That 4th position, all important right now to the 55 of Jason Green. And I think the 3rd place runner in this battle, JB, is Joe Ruggles, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you would be right. Hey, we saw him with that great wreck avoidance earlier. I'm just saying, if something happens to these two, Joe could be your guy.
You never know. You never know. But here's the battle.
And that would be the best example of just attrition, Emerson. Just get your head down and keep going. And
right place, right time.
Yep. This is the battle for it right here.
The battle for the playoff lucky dog right now. The battle for fourth on the racetrack. Jason Green, Dalton McKinney. Two veterans now of the series who've been here a couple seasons. Both drivers were in the playoffs last year. And now at the moment, neither driver in the playoffs, but only one can make it. For the moment, Jason Green holds that spot, but Dalton McKinney fighting back.
We still have 55 laps to, decide this battle. But a pass now could be big later on down the road. So, Jason's going to want to try to get as much clean air on the nose of that truck as possible and keep his way pointed up the road. And he's had speed all night. Yeah, so Jason's on a mission.
It's still the crazy thing to me, just the way this season has played out. Two drivers we both thought very highly of last season.
Should win multiple races in our opinions.
Both multi-time race winners at least last season. And now both of them sat here winless. Both of them can't make one of them at least will miss, and both could miss the playoffs this year.
Yeah, it's kind of a crazy thing to think about, but I mean, it's just that. I mean, you saw it in NASCAR last year, right?
Yeah.
Bubba Wallace had an average finishing position of pretty decent, I believe, and I think they said he scored 90 or something more points than he did the year before, and still missed the playoffs.
I was gonna say.
So it's just, and that's more of a product of just random winners. But here you have a couple bad races, and you just don't catch that win. It's hard. It's hard to catch up sometimes, and we knew that this battle going in tonight between these two was going to be really good, and so far we've been treated to that.
So at the moment, Jason Green holds that all-important fourth position, and the all-important battle for the race lead, the Kyle and Kyle show, has continued on. Kyle Spees now opens up a 3.5 advantage over Kyle Johnson. James Shane Wolf sat in third. He's trying to spool that 14 up and get going here and have a go at what could be in about 52 laps time, 51 laps time this time by the stripe.
I like what Spees is doing here. He's out there in the lead, but he's managing, I feel like. He's got the pace to probably put the hammer down and open up a second half gap, but I think he's just trying to do enough to keep a little bit in that truck. Because if he knows Shane Wolf or Johnson comes up here and tries to battle, he can just solve that real quick. So, kind of like what he's doing with that. But as this run continues and the entire degradation gets larger, I kind of look to your drivers like Jason Green and James Shane Wolf keep inching up. And we'll probably find them somewhere near the front. Meanwhile, that battle for the Lucky Dog spot is not done yet. They are back at it here getting their turn one.
Yeah, McKinney took a lap or two, took a little breather, got right back to it. So Jason Green under heavy pressure. And here we go, the 55-46 duel it out. One of them could make the playoffs by out-dueling the other. Right now, the McDingers 46 of Dalton McKinney back out in fourth position and is the current playoff lucky dog. Trevor Osbornoff, again, not eligible for the playoff lucky dog, but having a great run nonetheless, being a part-timer in this series. Up inside the top 5 for, as far as I can remember, one of his few times this season. So putting on a nice little run for the 89 machine.
Good looking 89 truck too. Yeah, he's doing a great job right there in the top 5.
Dylan Godinez, by the way, just came up and took a spot away from Jason Green like nothing.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Dylan's saving a little something here. He's saving a little something. Whoa, Green rolled sideways, I'll tell you that.
The front end of the 55 just shot up the track. He had to catch that 55 machine, so he's going to lose a lot of ground. And for now, Dalton McKinney heads to safety. 47 laps to go, and not settled by any means, but he's got himself a gap now.
couple other good runs a little further back.
Yep.
You know, some of these guys maybe we haven't talked about tonight on the backside of the top 10. Connor Cunningham here on 10th place.
That's someone
Vickery.
who's just been surviving.
Yeah, Vickery just behind him. We saw him on pit road earlier. Have to take a wave around.
Yeah, he had a
On there.
bad time pit. Well, follow was going to be great timing, but unfortunately got caught a lap down with that ill-timed yellow.
Yep.
Daniel Park
And
sporting
Park
a new 7.
behind him. Yeah, yeah. And the brand new paint scheme on that Steven truck. We talked about it before the race. And Michael's little paint looks pretty sharp, if you ask me. So I think that's what he's going to roll with at the playoffs so far. And there's your guy.
Yep,
There's your guy, Emerson.
Right now.
Joe Ruggles.
Lucky dog fight.
Back here in 13th. That's a good run for Joe, though.
Good little run for Joe Ruggles in the 96. Avoids the
Trail
wreck.
right there as well, who won our season opener.
Pit stops. Jeffrey Vickery.
Oh, Vickery. Okay.
Early.
So this is the edge of the window, Emerson.
Yeah,
this is
you're
probably
right.
the earliest you could pit and make it. I don't hate this, to be honest, because the 51's going to get out there on fresh tires and be able to make up a lot of time and probably have some clean racetrack while doing it.
And you know
One
what?
thing you have
We
to
do
keep in
have
mind, though,
less
Emerson,
trucks.
Yeah, is you're gonna have to go 44 laps on that set of tires. So you're gonna have to start off the run a little, probably more conservative than you'd want. But I'll be interested to see if anybody else notes this and thinks about coming on down. Because
I just gotta say, I just saw it on the timing screen. Connor Cunningham just passed 4 trucks like nothing.
tire saving Savion here is Connor Cunningham.
I mean, he just went from 11, or I guess 10th, to 3 trucks. He went from 10th to 7th like nothing.
Well, I'll tell you why. Last time by, Connor ran a 31.592. Our leader last time by ran a 31.822.
Wow.
So
He's
Connor's
moving.
got a little something in the tank here. And so this would be an example of why you would do the opposite of what Jeff he doesn't mind staying that long because he's not giving up as much time. He's actually gaining some time. On
Yeah, he's gaining time on the rest of his competitors.
Now, if the top 5 decide to all come down pit road in the next 2 laps, he would probably have to strongly consider that.
Yes.
But, I mean, yeah, Connor's doing a great job here. Has saved a little bit of tire in that machine, and so far is making it work. So, another driver who I would think about an early pit stop might look real good is somebody like Jason Green. We saw him kind of fall off in that run a little bit, and he's giving up a lot of time, and he's continuing to give up time. Go ahead and get some fresh tires back on it.
Dylan Godinez.
Work himself up here.
Yeah. Trying to make a statement here. He's going to interrupt the
2
Kyle.
tenths
And Kyle,
faster.
so look at that wheel from Kyle Johnson, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, he
Dylan
is
Godinez
hanging
was,
on.
2 tenths faster than these top 2 last time by. So he's just like Connor. He is cooking right now, as the kids would say.
Cooking.
Cooking. Let him cook. Let Dylan.
Yeah, let Dylan cook, and hopefully he doesn't overcook.
Connor is actually in the background of that screen. I don't know if you caught that.
He's moving. He's up to the 89 now. Trevor Aswarnoff hanging on for dear life as well. You can see those guys on the outside, by the way. Oh, contacted McKenny sideways on pit entry.
I don't know what was scarier, the 24
We got both.
contact or the 46 just aimed sideways on pit entry.
We got both of those in the same,
black
same
flag.
second.
For the 46, so no harm, no foul. I was going to say, Emerson, before all that happened, last time by, Connor Cunningham was half a second faster than the leader.
Yeah.
So he's cooking it right now. Yeah, let Connor cook as well, I guess. I don't know. But definitely some contact there.
Let's look at the race lead. Dylan Godinez trying to cook up an overtake around the 36. He goes to the outside, trying to keep that 88 pin. Now, Speed sits in the middle of the track. Godinez, heel drawn, dives down to the inside. And hello, new leader, Dylan Godinez.
Wow, what a drive by Dylan here in that Tony G's Pub number 88 truck for DG Motorsports. He's done a great job just pacing this run. I mean, we congratulated him on just being and he's not finished yet. Here comes Jason Green. So with 38 to go, I think this is about the right time, Emerson.
Yeah.
This is about splitting this run in half. And I'm hearing over the radio chatter, we're going to have quite a few trucks down pit road here in the next couple laps. So Jason's just going to jump on the front onto this. And also think about, we saw the 46 incident getting on pit road. Interesting to see where the 55 shakes out in comparison, because remember, they were battling for a while in that run.
Ben Park coming in. I was going to say, it was, oh man, he's sideways. Oh man, he almost lost it.
He is between the lines still somehow.
Yep. Joe Ruggles called
that looked real good there. That was a nice pit entry by Joe Ruggles compared to what we've seen.
I was gonna say, some of these guys have not made a green flag pit stop today, JB. And if they last did it at the end of qualifying or practice, some of these guys haven't made a green flag pit stop in about 90 laps of So
the 46 just went around Jason Green on this pit cycle here. He's about a corner in front of him, so we'll keep an eye on that gap because that's probably going to be the battle for that last chance qualifier. Keep you updated on how that shakes out.
Connor Cunningham has inserted himself into the battle for the race lead as he closes up on the 36 of Kyle Spees, and Spees still has Godinez in range. To the inside goes the 24. Oh my goodness!
The 88 was deciding to pit.
Oh man, that was
wow.
An intriguing pit.
As much as I want to see long green flag runs in this league, Emerson, these guys are making these pit stops look rough.
That was an intriguing pit entry, by the way. Connor Cunningham lost a lot of time. I'm sure he had to jump out of the throttle.
Yeah, he had to kind of take a heads-up move there.
Not sure if Godinez called it out, and then pitting from the top side, highly frowned upon as well.
So you'd also ask Connor, why stay out here? Remember, bonus points still apply through the playoffs. That's leading a lap's a bonus point. So Connor's going to take advantage of that. And, the guy who was pacing at Kyle Spees is on pit road. And we'll see. We're going to get a really good idea, Emerson, when he comes off pit road, where everything's going to cycle out, because he was the out front leader for the whole front part of that run. So that'll give us a good idea.
Trevor Asmanoff as well in the pit lane.
This should almost complete our cycle, except for
we're at 4.
Connor Cunningham
staying out.
Oh, we got a yellow.
Caution on the speedway. Spencer Brown in trouble. Around goes Brown on the back straightaway.
Connor look like a genius now?
On the other end of that, his teammate Spencer Brown bringing out the caution. See what happened. To 71, racing the 46.
Right in front of the 46.
Oh my goodness!
Oh no, Jason Green!
Oh no!
That's Kyle Johnson right there that almost somehow got and all that. Oh my goodness!
That's a lot of moving parts.
There was implications happening there. Well, pit lane's open. Connor obviously coming down. He's going to bring everybody that hasn't pitted yet with him. Emerson, a note here. I believe the lucky dog is going to be the 36 of speed.
Oh, wow. We're going to have a lot of people.
Up a little bit. Yeah, we'll have to reset this here in a second. And poor Jason, I don't know how they did not get into the 48 there. The 48 had to be looking in his mirror intently right there. That's
not
part of the
by
problem.
the way. It was just a similar livery, not teammate though.
Yeah. Part of the problem you run into here, Emerson, when you got guys on different tire strategies, is these closing rates, and you got guys trying to pass high, low, and it looks like the 71 just got crossed up there.
But Connor stays as the leader. Shane Wolf, Luttrell, by the way, Daytona race winner. JB, we haven't really heard from him the rest of the season. He'll be P3 on this restart.
Corcoran and Park as well will be up here.
Yep.
So all these other guys that pitted, Emerson, looks like they're going to have to go wave around. These did not get the lucky dog there.
Yeah, they're going to be on older tires. They're going to be...
Wayne Doyle was the lucky dog recipient, I do believe.
Yes. But he's got... Oh, actually, yeah.
He's going to start at the tail end of the field as well. So he'll still start in front of the
lead lap cars.
The lead lap guys.
All the wave arounds will wave around. So tail end, JB, is only 6th place.
This will be an entertaining restart. Because you're going to have the whole field shaken up. And this battle for the playoff lucky dog or last chance qualifier has also gotten very interesting.
Yes.
As you're going to bunch the 55 and the 46 back up here.
I was gonna say, and where does that put Joe Ruggles? He's not far from it, man. He's there. And if Joe has any idea, I don't know how up to date he is on the playoff lucky dog, or if that's even on his mind, JB. But somebody has to tell at 96, he's got a chance to make his way into the playoffs. He's got to just beat the 46 and the 55, and he'll be in the playoffs.
So they're going to get him lined up here, Emerson. Replay screen's still up. Trying to get it all sorted here. Connor, I guess, was talking over the radio about taking the top, but didn't select that in times. Have to start on the bottom.
Well, here we go.
Dan Park is up here. We haven't talked about him much tonight.
An intriguing restart. Only 6 trucks doubled up. Everyone single file. Connor Cunningham leads the field to green. 30 laps to go. Who knows what we'll see in 30 laps time.
Ooh, Dan Park serving a penalty. He has to come to pit road, Emerson. Just caught that out of the corner of my eye.
Yeah, Dan Park to pit
that
lane. That is unfortunate. Dan had a, nice bed made there with the strategy. And here's the battle for the lead. Connor Cunningham and James Shane Wolf. Cunningham leaves that top open. James Shane Wolf rises to the occasion. And new leader here from Chicagoland, the 14 of James Shane Wolf. 29 to go, and we'll see if Connor is going to fight back for that clean air.
And I'm thinking, Emerson, if you're Connor, you want this Connor to run out green, right? Because we saw him at his strongest at the end of that run.
But
And
we
so
only
you're
have 30
probably gonna
laps
want-
left.
Yeah, it's going to be tight. I just don't know. I think any stoppage in play, and we're back to square one again.
Battle for third. Chris Luttrell and Lane Doyle. Chris Luttrell, our Daytona
How about
race
Chris
winner.
Luttrell?
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's having one heck of a run this evening, and I'm not saying it's a fluke because we just don't talk about him much. He just like Dylan, he comes in here, goes about his business, and nice and quiet, just gets it done, nice and consistent.
Everyone else had the same opportunity to do what Chris Luttrell just did. And Chris Luttrell
Sometimes
did,
I understand if we talk about you a lot, that's not necessarily a good thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good that we're like, oh, we haven't talked about this driver in a while, because we're not seeing him on rec replays or anything like that. So
that's true.
Good run from Chris. Bees is wanting to hunt back up here though. He got that lead taken from him, and I don't think he feels too bad.
He's not all that happy about it. But he's got to work through some traffic that has fresher tires than him, JB. Both the 47 and the 00 have fresher tires. And Lane Doyle, he is blocking him just as he would at Daytona. Lane Doyle is keeping that 36 at bay.
And just a couple laps of tires make a big difference.
And it's going to. I mean, right here, you just saw it. Lane Doyle is keeping the 36 at bay. He has 2 lap fresher tires now to get by Luttrell. But at that, Kyle Spees isn't, really soaring through here.
No, he's going to have to get in a little bit, probably bigger hurry. Want to be a factor. Going to pay truck off the pace in the back. I believe that's Spencer Brown. He's on the apron, so no problems there.
Just double checking the running order. I think it is still Jason Green, our
I've been watching it. It's close, but it just a couple trucks separate these guys, but Jason is still.
He's in the wall!
Maybe we shouldn't have said anything about him.
Well, this is going to be huge. Dalton McKinney closing the gap, and somebody get Joe Ruggles. Here comes Joe Ruggles. He's closing that gap.
Front row Joe has gone his way, Emerson. I'm telling you. There's something special about tonight in that 96 truck. It could be his night.
It could be. Why wouldn't it get a little physical between the 55 and 46?
You know, both are good racers, but they know what's at stake. So they're going to probably use a little bit extra.
Try to salvage their season right here.
Yeah. If it means your season, we saw what Ross Chastain was willing to do at Martinsville.
Yeah.
Not saying they want to do that here, but, you know, you're going to use a little bit more of the bumper than you probably normally would.
Yeah, it's you're either in or out at a chance of $500 in 7 races.
Yeah, exactly.
McKinney gets around, not clear, but does get to the outside of, and now cleared by the 88 of Godinez. And so now nothing separates our playoff Lucky Dog racers.
That's the battle right there. You're either in or you're out with 20 to go.
Battle for the win. Front. Connor Cunningham trying to get another win under his belt. Hasn't
He's
gone
been
one
close
this
a couple
season.
times this year, man.
Yep.
He's been right on it. Watkins Glen was one that comes to the top of my mind, right? If he wouldn't have had that incident, I think he would have had that one. A race with that Shane Wolf and Carty were absolutely putting on a clinic, and all of a sudden Connor was there, and then unfortunately got caught up in an incident. But Connor, what I really like about this run, Emerson, is, you know, we talked to Connor, you know, about he needs this to go to long because he has his best late in the run. He really hasn't given up much time here. I mean, he's staying with the 14, so I'm thinking maybe in about 10 laps we see Connor turn up the wick maybe a little bit. We'll see. Maybe he's not saving as much this time, but definitely hasn't letting the 14 get out of his way or out of his sight.
Battle between Godinez and McKinney, and now Radke sits in between Green as well. So the playoff Lucky Dog battle getting a little muddied with playoff drivers. Usually, when we talk about something like this, it's the opposite. The non-playoff drivers getting involved, but you know, it's a unique thing here to SRN with the playoff Lucky Dog as well.
And when we talk about trucks in between those two, that's what's going to make the difference, because then McKinney not only has to worry about getting to the 55, but he's got to get by the 3, which that's not an easy task. So anytime you have trucks in the middle of all this, it adds to the difficulty of the task at hand.
And the only teammate here is McKinney and Radke, and so you'd wonder, right? Maybe is there anything, you know, McKinney is saying to Radke, maybe, you know, hey, help me out a little bit, or give me some draft, or, you know,
I mean,
some
maybe
dirty air on this guy, but not really happening here.
Yeah, I mean, every team's a little bit different, you know. Within all our teams, we always tried to help each other out where possible, but you didn't necessarily want to in a way that would hurt yourself.
Right.
And so you got to kind of keep that in mind as well. Maybe Radke's like, hey, if you get to me, you know, right to my bumper, hey, I'm going to let you go, but I'm not going to, you know, waste 2 laps and lay over for you. That's probably more about the level of thought that entails right there.
Chris Luttrell still inside the top 5, battling now the 22
lap truck of Austin Long.
Truck,
yeah, he's a couple laps down. Yeah, he's showing pace, but he is a couple.
I was looking for the 22 on score, and I'm like, I don't see it, man.
19th place is where he sits right now.
Yep, 19th. 20 hot laps down.
Hey, man. Just don't want to quit on it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Scott Kalaw's out here clicking laps off as well. Spencer Brown is not clicking laps off, but he is, you know, the goal there. And Luttrell nearly into the quarter panel of the 36. Oh boy! And we're getting a little physical here. Speed's right into the back tailgate of the 22.
And if you're Speed here, you're probably a little frustrated, right?
Yeah.
Because you got this car 20 laps down.
20.
Just impeding your progress.
And another one coming.
And this is a situation where you have to ask him, do you know what you're racing for? Right? Because for Speeds and Luttrell, these are playoff guys here. We're racing for every spot, every point. We can get, in 3 weeks' time, Emerson, we can be talking about Speeds, oh, he misses it by 1 point.
Yeah.
Well, where'd that 1 point come from? Could be right here.
Could it come from
so
Chris
Luttrell
making the overtake?
Yeah, and that could be a product of the 22. So you just got to kind of understand, Emerson, what you're racing for in certain situations. And so I would just throw that in the conversation.
Jason Green opening a gap now to Dalton McKinney. There's Green. Yep. There's McKinney.
The biggest gap we've seen this run.
Yes.
And we're running out of time for the 46. With 13
we
to
are.
Go. Emerson up front, I was just watching time deltas. The 14 and 24, it was the 14, half a tenth quick, half a tenth quicker, half a tenth quicker. Well, that has slowly started to even out, which means the law of averages would say that is going to start going Connor's direction here within the next couple laps, but is he going to have enough time? That's going to be the big difference. The last time by, Shane Wolf, about a quarter of a tenth faster.
Yeah.
So definitely that's lowering the delta between them, but that's going to start to swing the other way in a hurry if Connor wants a chance battling for this one.
Tight battle here. P6, Kyle Johnson, Trevor Arswinoff.
I said that, and then Connor just runs a half a tenth quicker lap this last time by.
Yep.
So it is starting to swing the other way. Oh, the truck loose there off the corner in front of the 36 of Kyle Spees. Yeah.
Playoff lapper, Sean Corcoran.
Hey, that's the one gray area, right, Emerson? I mean, if you're a lapper but you're still in the playoffs, you're still fighting and clawing too. So
yeah,
you want a chance at getting a lucky dog, right? If a caution comes out, he's the guy. So you got to kind of keep that in mind too.
And he's trying to get. Who is he trying to get? Spencer Brown did return to the track, so everyone's trying to figure out, I guess, where they're going.
Everybody's trying to battle somebody.
Yeah, he's on the same lap as DeLong, I guess. So that's your battle.
Fastest truck on the track last time by, Emerson. Lane Doyle in third place, and he is actually closing the gap on the front too, quite a bit. Yep. So we're not then talking about him potentially winning this race either.
Yeah. Oh, he's significantly faster, almost 2 tenths quicker than Shane Wolf and 3 tenths quicker than Cunningham. If he can make easy work for Connor.
Yeah.
Who knows?
You got to be efficient with the 24, I think, if you want a chance at it, because there's not enough time left.
And Connor, man, he's gonna fight for everything he's got. Now, maybe he says Lane Doyle is his ticket to catch Shane Wolf. That could also be a thought process, but we shall see. So
we will find out.
Battle for second, coming to a point. Connor trying to hang on. Lane Doyle, big run.
Is that Spencer Brown there on fresh tires?
Spencer Brown, similar livery, not entirely aware of what's going on. They're not teammates, by the way. Cunningham and Brown, just same.
I feel like I just gave a lecture on that. Yeah. This is what the 14 wants to see, though.
Yeah, and then even if Doyle gets by Connor here, I mean, he's gonna have 6 laps to try to gain a second. That's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
Connor fights hard as he should, a playoff driver, and
that's every point. Every point matters. Yeah, if you can keep the 47 behind you, that's a win. But I just don't think Connor's gonna be able to keep that position. Oh, the 47 sideways there on the bottom though. Go sideways as he transitions to the apron. I think you got to complete the pass this time by if you're the 47 to have a chance. I believe
to have any chance. I don't even know. I mean, Connor's doing a great job hanging on. Maybe. Oh, the wall. Quick check in here. Trevor Aswornoff to the back end of the 36 of Kyle Spees. Kyle Spees might get taken out of the top 5 right here. Not something we
He's definitely not going to let that happen easily, I would imagine.
And then playoff lucky dog battle, Jason Green.
He's got that handily in his grasp right now.
Dalton McKinney is there. And Joe Ruggles is
All right, lane's clear of Connor here.
Yep.
But, 5 to go. He's going to have a second with 5 laps. I mean, he's got to get after it here if he wants.
Plus, he probably used a good bit of tire grip to get around to 24.
No lap traffic's going to be in effect here either.
That was huge. That was 2 tenths right there.
Okay.
It's
maybe not.
over. I
Could
mean,
we be in store for another SRN Classic?
I was gonna say we just had, a late race kind of almost pass. Could we change that?
47 does look pretty nice and stable right now by himself. He's
Not
going to gain a little bit here
huge-
too, but not enough, I don't think.
Let's see. What's that? Oh, more like a tenth and a half. He's gonna need to gain like 3/10 this lap though.
Could make a difference when he gets in the draft of the 14 though, especially down the straightaways.
Oh, but he's
Oh,
sideways.
he's driving it. He's driving it right now. For all it's worth. I think if he gets within half a second here on this lap, he has a chance. Wheel still looks pretty stable.
Oh, man.
I lied.
Oh, man.
Hey, loose is fast though.
But he's
right?
got that
Like I
grip.
said.
Here we go. 6/10. 2 laps to go. He needs to gain 3/10 a lap.
Possible when you get in the draft, but it's going to be tough without a mistake from the 14, I believe. Man,
There's
there's going to be nothing left on those 4 tires when he's done with this.
Yeah, I
I'll tell you
mean,
that.
it's got to be an absolutely stellar lap and a half here from Lane Doyle if he's going to get the 14. Huge run out of 4.
That was a huge gain in that set of corners right there.
But 1 lap to go. Shane Wolf doing his job. They maintain that time by. And so 1 lap to
There's a
go.
line. I don't think it's going to be enough, though.
James Shane Wolf has played this scenario right. The caution comes out. He's got to battle Connor Cunningham. He does away with the 24. And for the 4th time this season, this one's going to punch his ticket to the next round. James Shane Wolf wins at Chicagoland. And Jason Green, there's a crash across the line, but Jason Green will be in the playoffs this season.
You think he just had a sigh of relief, Emerson?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Kyle Spees contacts the 89 of Oswornoff. Coming across the line. Almost forget that those 2 are teammates, by the way.
So, we talked about all James Shane Wolf's troubles this evening, Emerson. Well,
Yeah.
part of the problem in all those troubles, he's not going to be available for an interview this evening.
Oh,
because, he doesn't exist in Discord, but his teammate did finish second, so maybe we'll kind of get a interview through a teammate kind of thing going on.
Nah, you jump on your phone, James. We'll get you.
we'll figure out a way to do it. But just wanna put this out there, what he's battled through this week.
Yeah,
You know,
go for it. Absolutely.
3 days ago, said his PC was fried. Trying to get it fixed, but didn't look like that was going to happen, so he was looking for a new one. So he wasn't sure if he was going to be able to make it. Well, later today, he said, hey now, I found an option, so I'm going to be there. And I wasn't sure what that option was going to look like, because when you're never not in your personal rig or whatever, it can be a challenge, right? There's a comfortability factor there, all that good stuff. But he was able to make it do and come home with the win. So I think that's a pretty good testament to just keeping your head down and staying in it and making it happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's your interview. I just gave it on his behalf.
Yeah.
I'd love to thank his sponsors and us and all that good stuff. But in all seriousness, I guess we can go ahead and talk to second place. His
Save you
teammate.
time.
Yeah, we'll talk to his teammate and see if we can get an interview by proxy.
Yeah, we'll see here anyway. Second place finisher and teammate to that very insane story of a week for James Shane Wolf. Lane Doyle, you nearly were able to steal his thunder. Lane, what was that last run like? What more could you have done differently?
If I could have passed Connor more efficiently, I think I had a chance. But, I mean, I could have asked for a better finish than second after my day. Oh, boy. I'm glad for an out front 1 and 2. Out front motorsports. It's been a while since the 2 of us managed to finish 1-2. Usually, at least one of us has bad luck per race, but this time one of us did have bad luck, but managed to make the most of it.
Well, Lane, this is huge. To kick off the playoffs with a second place finish. You do head into a little bit of a wild card next week with Atlanta, but this little points cushion, at least it'll help a little bit should something go south at Atlanta. What's the mindset? Do you race Atlanta differently, knowing that you have a few more points in the bag now, or are you gonna, what's your strategy going into Atlanta? Did that change?
I'm gonna race Atlanta like I'd race every other week. I'm gonna go for the win. If that doesn't work out, then we'll see what happens. If this week didn't go like it did today, then I'd probably change my tune and not do that. But we got a good solid finish, so why not go for 2 in a row?
There you go. And Lane, actually, I don't know. I had a question, but I forgot it. JB, what
No,
you
we
got?
can't talk to your teammate, so you want to do his interview too, real quick? While we...
Sure. How about this? You relay the question to me, and I'll tell Shane Wolf. Who I think is still no. He left. No. Okay.
No, just say what you think he'd be saying right about now.
It was a great car. Too bad my computer crapped itself right before the race. Can't believe I made it. Congrats to my teammate, Lane. He's the best driver I've ever seen. Greatest guy I've ever met. Good job, Shane Wolf. Proud of you, man. We'll head into next week.
Up. Sounds about right.
That is amazing. Well, congratulations to the both of you. Congratulations to you, Lane, on that second place finish and that out front one too. And best of luck to you guys next week out at Atlanta, where of the playoff drivers, you two are going to be the easiest or the coolest guys heading in there, with the win for locking in the 14 and the points cushion for you. But we shall see if we talk to you then in a week's time.
I hope to be talking to y'all. Y'all have a good one.
Yes, sir. You too. That was driver of the number 47, our second place finisher tonight. And we have our third place finisher, driver of the number 24, Connor Cunningham. And Connor, a valiant effort there to try and win that race. The strategy card kind of unexpectedly falling into your hands. But how about it? What more could you have done differently there at the end?
I probably should have saved my tires more, if I'm honest, because Lane had one heck of a run catching up to both of us after we basically ended our tires at the end of the run. So I probably should have saved more instead of going at it with him. If so, it probably would have been a pretty good fight for the end.
And I noticed that, we noticed that you had such a great long run truck that the whole reason you got that advantage was by staying out long on that pit cycle. Why the change of heart? Was it that the clean air was that important and you needed to contend for it? Or was it maybe only 30 laps to go and you weren't sure if you were going to get the run long enough for your tires to speak for themselves?
Probably for the long run to kick in, because I didn't know if we were going to have it or not, so I had to go after it and see if a caution comes out, and if it doesn't happen, well, we're out of luck. We don't win. It is what it is.
Nonetheless, Connor, huge points today. This is going to be a good boost for you heading into Atlanta now. Atlanta's a little bit of a wild card. How do you play next week at Atlanta? And are you playing it differently now that you have maybe a third place finish under your belt as opposed to an unknown today?
Probably going to drop to the rear or start at the rear and just let everybody wreck in front and just survive. That's all Atlanta is. It's a survival of the fittest track.
But there you go, Connor. Congratulations on the third place finish tonight, and best luck to you next time out here next week at Atlanta. We'll see you then.
All right, thank you very much.
Absolutely, and that was driver of the number 24 in Connor Cunningham. And JB, I guess we don't have a race winner, but we do have a playoff lucky dog.
Yeah, that's right. One extra interview this week, so I guess we'll even out at 3, but I'll go ahead and let you bring Jason in while I finish up these points.
Oh, never mind, you're busy. Now, yeah, I'll go take the 55 there, Jason Green. Jason, how about it, man? It was maybe getting a little scary there, but you do make your way into the playoffs this season. A very frustrating season. I'd imagine at least at this point to not lock in, but you are here, and how about it?
Yes, sir. I'm really excited. Yeah, I was a little nervous there, a little nervy after about halfway. Um, just having the incident with Lane Doyle, I'm pretty sure I got into him a little bit there, and it's tight racing, bad tires at that point. So get turned off, and then all of a sudden it's back of the grid, about 60 to go. And I was talking to my teammates. I'm like, man, oh man, I got like 3 guys I got to pass here, and then it's gonna spread out. And if this thing's goes green, we're gonna just have to make sure we just do lap after lap as good as we can. So yeah, no, it worked out. Really proud of the guys. I think all of the team, Park Bros Racing, we were able to lock in now. So really excited. Look forward to the playoffs.
Absolutely. And Jason, talk about really your main contender today, or at least for a good portion of this race, was the 46 Dalton McKinney. And we look to both of you guys as, prominent, winning drivers last season, both playoff drivers. What's that like? I mean, I know you can't necessarily speak for Dalton's feelings, but, knowing that the caliber driver you're going against is, just as good, driver, either of you guys missing the playoffs would be a huge loss in terms of not competing for this championship for us. What was that like? What was going through your mind when you had to, kind of race that cotton candy 46 head up?
Yeah, and it was tough, and especially knowing going into this race. He's really good at these mile and a halves. He's always fast here. So it's just you have to really be on top of your stuff. You have to pick the right lanes at the right times, and I thought he did get into the wall a couple times. I don't know if other people are riding him hard or what, but I saw him make a couple of mistakes here and there, and we're able to capitalize and just keep it clean, keep it consistent. And yeah, I mean, getting into the playoffs, this is a really big deal. Like you said, being in it now this is my 3rd year, and this is now 3 for 3 in the playoffs. And I think over this year, I know we didn't get the win, but over the season, I think if you had to look at like top 5s across the league, I think I have to be within like the top 5 scores. So I feel good about our chances now that we're in. I think it was a good point stay. So just have to make sure we continue this on the next week.
Actually, speaking of next week, Jason, you, I guess, technically begin your playoff quest at Atlanta. A little bit of a wild card. What's your game plan? How are you attacking it? Are you attacking it maybe a little different? What are your feelings about what's happening next week at Atlanta?
Yeah, my mantra always, I think, with a lot of these races is you want to be up front. You don't. I mean, you could play the strategy thing. You could try and hang back for the majority of the race, but with these races, the way that they're just really tight, they're contentious. Everybody's on top of each other. You want to be up front. You want to try and be able to avoid all that stuff. So, just gotta be able to qualify good. I think I qualified miserable this entire year, which doesn't help either. So, gotta qualify good, get ourselves up front, and then yeah, just do whatever we can. Try and stay on the bottom, so at least we have a lane. If you gotta avoid some of the wrecks, at least you have somewhere to go. And yeah, just hang on for, gosh, I don't know how many laps that thing will be, but that's a fairly long race too. It's just really
90?
quick. Yeah, 90 race. Yeah, it's just quick. The runs are ridiculous. It's just nonstop action. So it'll be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it.
Well, Jason, congratulations on making the playoffs this season. I'm sure you'll be a great addition, and we'll see if we're talking to you next week at Atlanta.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Absolutely. And that'll be driver of the number 55 in Jason Green. And JB, you're right. That does make up for our interviews there.
Yeah.
Maybe no race winner, but a playoff lucky dog. You don't get that interview every week. And,
Yeah, no, and just to add a little bit on kind of what now happens with the playoffs.
Go for it, yeah.
We had 15, right, in there. It was reset by bonus points, which I don't know if you have that graphic available, but if you do, we can pop that up on the screen while I talk about it.
It's got to be here somewhere.
All we do, I think I sent it to you yesterday, DM, so you might have it. All we do is add a 16th, so like our own Jeff Gordon rule, I guess you could say. We will still cut to the top 10 for the next round, but for the remainder of this round, you'll have that one extra guy. We found out tonight it's going to be Jason Green battling for that spot. So you probably ask, well, we've already reset the points. Where does Jason Green fall in this? So basically, he won't receive any playoff bonus points like everybody else did to start this round, but he still will get credit for his points from this race towards after the reset. So basically, he would have been just like he was reset to 2,000 before this last week, and then his points added, and he'll fall where he falls. So we'll work on that for the remainder of the round. If you tune in to the Speed Racing Network social media channels, Instagram, Facebook, X, all that good stuff, we'll post the updated playoff standings graphic for you to take a look at. And we'll do that every week after each race. We'll always have the goal in mind of when we have a cut line race that night to let you know who's in and who's out. We'd like that to be a pretty easy process. Sometimes it takes me a few moments, but that's why we have the great Emerson Ardon to help us with interviews on those specific dates. Last race, Emerson, not gonna lie, that was a little tough. I was the broadcast and the points. So I think I had one of the Park brothers help me out on the interviews at the end of the race. So all hands on deck. But we had Chicago tonight, Atlanta next week, and then we take a week off and then finish round 1 with Dover. So after Dover, we'll cut to the top 10. What's really unique is those top 10 will all get a season-ending prize check.
Yep.
And so all those guys will earn the cash. Then after Nashville, Michigan, Charlotte, we'll cut to the top 5. And then our championship 5 will run Legacy, Phoenix, and Texas. And at that point, we'll have a ending champion. But all the regular bonus points, like the incident points bonus, leading laps bonus, all that good stuff does remain throughout the playoffs. So as much as we like to just chalk it up to one position, we don't have stage points here, but those little extra bonus points that come and go throughout the race can be a big deal. And I just want to point that out tonight because we had a few drivers that got the clean bonus, which can make a big difference. And one of them was Ben Park. So we didn't talk about Ben having a fantastic run, but he still finished in 8th place, but he still gets that bonus point. So makes a difference at the end of the day, Emerson. I think we're in store for a fantastic playoffs here with the tracks we have set up and now the drivers that are in it. And I think all we do now, Emerson, is show up and put the show online and let the drivers do the show for us.
Absolutely. And, with this show, there was a lot of moving parts. I think we have to recap it at one point, and that'll be with our race results. And so there are your race results from tonight's race here from the Chicagoland Speedway. It's an Out Front Motorsports 1-2. James Shainwolf gets the victory tonight and locks himself into round number 2. It's Lane Doyle, P number 2 in that 47 machine. Connor Cunningham finishes with the podium. How about Chris Luttrell, man? Daytona race winner. And then he starts the playoffs off with a bang, a P4 finish for the 0-0. It's going to be a huge bump of momentum. And by the way, JB, next week, plate race, Chris Luttrell.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
I'm just saying. Kyle Smee's P5 there in that 36 machine. He almost lost out that top 5 finish with Kyle Johnson finishing P6 in the 48. Jason Green P7, the playoff lucky dog winner. And that 55 machine, Ben Park, P8, you just talked about him, had a clean race today. Add an extra bonus point to Ben Park's total. Jeffrey Radke will be P9. Trevor Arzwanoff will be P10. And actually, that does remind me, we will have a... before we go off the air tonight, I guess we got to get a replay for that last lap because Arzwanoff and Spees were battling for that 5th position. So,
yeah, Spees ended up in the grass somehow.
And Arzwanoff finished 6 spots lower, or 5 spots lower than where he was. So we'll have to do a little bit of investigative work there. But JB 11th on down.
Yeah, Dalton McKinney comes from 11th, and I mean a decent run for Dalton, but ultimately just not enough for that last chance qualifier spot. Dylan Godinez, fantastic running 12th. Vickery comes home 13th. Joe Ruggles with just a solid 14th place run tonight. Sean Merriman 15th. Daniel Parks 16th. Spencer Brown 17th. Scott Claw limped it home to an 18th place finish. Austin DeLong 19th, and Sean Corcoran rounds out the top 20, and that also concludes the track cars that were still running at the end of it.
Yeah, the rest were drivers who did not see the checkered flag tonight. 21st, Sean Woodside. 22nd, Zachary Tallman. 23rd, Andrew Harris. That one was disappointing, but almost as disappointing was the 5F David Flanagan, who qualified on pole tonight as well. JB led a bunch of laps early. David Flanagan, no result to show for it with P24. Shane Ledoux, 25th. Wally Babb, 26th, getting that suspension damage earlier. And Drake Carty, last week's winner, JB, dead last the next week.
Yeah, that's we saw that lap when wreck Emerson, and just yes, he has the advantage of 20 playoff bonus points to start, but he's gonna have to be diligent the next 2 races to not give up more points because he pretty much used his whole safety net this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, we're now going to take a look and see what happened on that last lap. Coming to the checkers, Trevor Arzwanoff was not facing the right direction, and so there was some contact off of turn number 4, and let's see the racing between Spees and Arswinoff. Arswinoff maybe tries to get Spees into the water. I mean, we have to slow it down a little bit more, but so there's Spees spinning across the line. He saves it. There's a little bit of a Riley Herbst, maybe. No, locks it down. I don't know if Herbst did all that. But yeah, this is what I'm talking about. We'll go back a little ways. Actually, let's just see the whole last half lap, because that might tell more of the story here, Davey. So here we go. Let's see. You can tell. So Kyle Spees makes his way past the 74 of Corcoran. Arswinoff, big send, trying to get that spot, and closes, squeezes, running out of racetrack. And that's why the 89 lost 6 spots there at the end.
Yeah, it seems like an awfully big send for just one spot, but I regress. But every point does matter at the end of the day. But you know, he's a driver that's not really running for that, so gotta keep that in mind. But luckily for Speeds, didn't really cost him anything. Got lucky in that exchange.
Well, I guess that for us will do it for us. I want to thank you all so much for tuning in and joining us for tonight's broadcast. We hope you enjoyed tonight's race. We hope to see you guys next time out at the Atlanta Motor Speedway for playoff race number 2 here for Speed Racing Network HairClub Truck Series action. I am Emerson Arn with Jonathan Byer alongside. See you guys very soon. Stay warm.